Hello, my name is Christos Sinopoulos. I'm a Senior Lecturer in Operations Project Management, and I'm going to be the module leader for the elective project management. So what I would like to start with is give you an introduction to the module, introduction to project management more generally, and some of the things that we're going to cover over the next 9 weeks or so. So I guess by having selected this elective, you know that project management is an important element of modern economic activities. There are many modern economic activities. There are many statistics out there, many different views on how this is developing in the business world. But increasingly, projects are becoming as a normal way of operating and conducting business. So, for instance, many of the organizations that I tend to see, they tend to suggest that they convert their organizational structures into a more project-based organization. And the reason why they suggest they're actually doing that is because they think it provides them for a more flexible way of dealing with customers, of changing customer needs. There are other elements associated with that as well. So, for instance, the increased trends for outsourcing. Or for managing supply chains, all of these things that tend to link to or indicate to a way of operating which is more flexible, more short-term, more temporal, and therefore more unique, and as a consequence more project-based. So what we are going to do in the next 9 weeks or so is that we are going to cover several aspects of project management. And the way the course is designed is to try to take you through various, if you want, key elements of project management and some of the key elements of the discipline of project management. So what I would like to do in the next few minutes is cover some of the key elements of that. And I'm going to do that by focusing on what each week is going to do. So during the first week, what we're going to look at is we're going to look into the introduction of project management, and we're going to look at some elements of the history of project management and some elements associated with project management life cycles. One of the key elements of the first week is to explain how project management can be seen as a process, which is quite a big statement for many people, including myself. But effectively, this view of looking at project management as a process is something that's been adopted by many of the modern project management methodologies. We're going to see some aspects of that. During the second week, we're going to shift a little bit the focus, and we're going to look at aspects of project management and organizational strategy. It's easy for many people to say that project management is important and it's strategic, but it will be very interesting to see, and that's what we're going to cover, how this element can be linked with aspects of organizational strategy that maybe you have covered in other parts of your course. We're then going to look into project definition. So what I'm going to do for the next part of the course is we're going to look at each stage of the project. So after having covered some of the introductory elements, we're going to look at each element of a project. So the first one is, of course, project definition, trying to define a project, trying to see when do we have a project and what kind of processes can we put in place to make sure that we manage the project accordingly. We're going to look into procurement. The idea is that once you define the project, one of the key activities that you need to consider is which of the activities you are going to develop yourselves and which of the activities you're going to ask someone else to do. And that's an important element both for scheduling, resourcing, and so on. Okay? We're then going to shift the focus on some of the most traditional, if you want, aspects of project management, which are that of scheduling. So what we're going to do in that session, and I'm at week 5 now, what we're going to do then is we're going to look at some of the traditional methods of managing and organizing the schedule and the plan of a project. So we're going to look at things like critical path method, and we're going to look at aspects of how to implement that and potentially how to, some ideas of how to level resources and so on. Week 6 shifts the focus a little bit from tools and techniques, to the role of the project management and the project manager and the project team. So we're going to look at some of the softer elements associated with project management. So some of the key things we're going to discuss there are aspects of, let's say, the leadership elements, the organizing of the team, what is a good team and how we can manage it, how we can manage to achieve that. but also aspects associated with leadership and the followers. And I've got a few slides and a few videos associated with followership. Okay. So week 7, we're going back to tools and techniques. We're going to look at how the project is reviewed. I'm providing you with an introduction to the earned value method, and trying to see how this can help manage the project and control the project. But we also have a few readings there on some of the limitations associated with this technique. Week 8, we shift on to risk. I should say that risk is not necessarily something that deserves to be at the back end of the module. It's probably potentially something which is as important as one of the first things that we discuss, but it has to be placed somewhere. Okay? So what we're going to do then is we're going to look at aspects of risk management. We're going to explain the risk management process, which and make a strong case, hopefully, about the need to ensure that risk needs to be managed across the whole of the project and needs to be controlled across the whole of the project, not just at the beginning. Okay? And during that session, we're going to explore some aspects of communication and communication management more generally. So we're going to see at the need for ensuring communication and linking communication channels with the various stakeholders. Okay? During week 9, the final week of the module, what we're going to do is we're going to focus on the critical on aspects of the ethical part of project management. There are a few exercises associated with that. But another thing we're going to look at is the elements of the theory of project management. You will see that as we go through the module, we're going to discuss for quite a few tools, techniques, and so on. But there's going to be little discussion on, if you want, the theory of project management, if there is one. In fact, it's that question that I'm trying to tease out. Is there such a thing as a theory of project management? Should we have one? If we had one, what it would look like? Okay? And what is the role of things like, for instance, the professional associations, the universities, and so on, which potentially can feed into the theory and research of project management. So this is a brief overview of the course. I hope you will enjoy it. As I said, I think it's an important course because it covers things of modern economic activity. We see projects all around us. I hope you enjoy it. An essential part of the course, as you will see, is that you participate in a discussion forum and the various interactive activities that we have designed and integrated at different parts of the course. So I hope you enjoy it, and have a good 9 weeks.